Good morning, Raven. This is a story just for you. This is Dr. Seuss's book, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Okay, let's see what's inside this book, right? Oh, look at all the beautiful Christmas wreaths. And I think that's a little Who from Whoville, right? Oh, there's the title page, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Right, I don't know what it looks like to you from that end, but I'm very excited. It's one of our favorite stories. Look at this. When Daddy was little, he loved to hear this story. How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Dr. Seuss. And it's got a fabulous Christmas tree with lots of Christmas bulbs on it and a star. Look at that at the top. And I think it's a flower in the middle of the star. This book was written for Teddy Owens. Oh, just like your Uncle Owen, right? Let's see, every who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot. And your grandma loves Christmas. So that's why we're reading that story this morning, because it's a favorite Christmas story. Have to figure out a good way to turn pages, right? Keep your attention here. Oh, but look who's in a cave, not looking very happy, right? But the Grinch who lived just north of Whoville did not. He did not like Christmas. Oh no. The Grinch hated Christmas the whole Christmas season. Now, please don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason. It could be his head wasn't screwed on just right. It could be perhaps that his shoes were too tight. But I think that the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small. Look at him. He does not look very happy, does he? Oh, there he is again, looking fairly miserable. And he says, but whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve, hating the Who's, staring down from his cave with a sour, grinchy frown at the warm lighted windows below in their town, for he knew every Who down in Whoville beneath was busy now hanging a mistletoe wreath. Do you know what you do under the mistletoe, right? You get kisses under the mistletoe. And they're hanging their stockings, he snarled with a sneer. Tomorrow is Christmas, it's practically here. Then he growled with his Grinch fingers, nervously drumming, I must find some way to stop Christmas from coming. He's drumming, right? For tomorrow he knew. Merry, merry, merry. All the Who girls and boys would wake bright and early. They'd rush for their toys, and then, oh, the noise. Oh, the noise, 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 noise. That's the one thing he hated. Noise, 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 noise. Oh, look at all the toys. Do you see all those toys? That's one of the things that happens in Whoville, right? Then the Who's young and old would sit down to feast, and they'd feast and they'd feast and they'd feast, feast, feast. They would feast on Who pudding and rare Who roast beast, which was something the Grinch couldn't stand in the least. Look at all the people. All the Who's in Whoville are ready to share a feast. Oh my goodness. And then they do something he liked least of all, right? Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, would stand close together with Christmas bells ringing, and they'd stand hand in hand, and the Who's would start singing. Oh, love singing, right? And they'd sing and they'd sing and they'd sing, 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 sing. And the more the Grinch thought about this Who Christmas sing, the more the Grinch thought, I must stop this whole thing. Why, for 53 years I've put up with it now. I must stop this Christmas from coming. But how? How can you stop Christmas? Oh, he's coming up with a big idea, I think. Then he got an idea, an awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, wonderful, awful idea. Oh, I know just what to do, the Grinch laughed in his throat, and he made a quick Santa Claus hat and a coat. Then he chuckled and chuckled, what a great Grinchy trick. With this coat and this hat, I'll look just like Saint Nick. Oh, he looks like Santa Claus. Uh-oh. All I need is a reindeer. And the Grinch looked around, but since reindeer are scarce, there was none to be found. Did that stop the old Grinch? I think not. No, the Grinch simply said, if I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead. So he called his dog Max. Then he took some red thread and he tied a big horn on the top of his head. Look, there's Max with a horn on his head. I'm not sure that puppies would like that very much. Does Chango like it when you tie things to his head? I don't think so. Then he loaded some bags and some old empty sacks on a rumble shack sleigh and he hitched up old Max. Look, he's making Max pull the sleigh, right? Then the Grinch said, giddy up. And the sleigh started down towards homes where the Who's lay a snoozing in their town. Does that really rhyme? I'm not sure that rhymes. And all the windows were dark, quiet snow filled the air, and the Who's were all dreaming, sweet dreams without care. Then he came to the first little house on the square. This is stop number one, the old Grinchy Claus hissed, and he climbed to the roof, empty bags in his fist. Look, he's up on the roof and he's gonna throw the empty bags. He's gonna take something, I think. What do you think he's gonna do with those empty bags? I don't know. There's no toys in them. Oh, look, he came into this room and then he slid down the chimney, a rather tight pinch. But if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch. He got stuck only once for a moment or two, then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue, where the little Who stockings all hung in a row. See all the little Who stockings all hanging on the fireplace? These stockings, he grinned, are the first things to go. Oh no, now what happens? Let's wait and see. Oh, there he is. Look at him, he's taking everything. Can you see what he's doing? Oh no. Then he slithered and slunk with a smile most unpleasant. Around the whole room he took every present, pop guns and bicycles, roller skates, drums, checkerboards, tricycles, popcorns, and plums. And then he stuffed them in bags, and the Grinch very nimbly stuffed all the bags, one by one, up the chimney. Up the chimney he went with everything. See all the little Who's fast asleep in their beds? All the little Who's in Whoville sleeping. Oh my goodness. Mom, Grandma's arms are getting tired. Okay, I'm gonna change hands here. Change position. Let's maybe change sides so we can get this view, right? Okay, oh, look. He's even taking, then he slunk into the icebox and he took the Who's feast. He took the Who pudding, he took the roast beast. He cleaned out the icebox as quick as a flash. Why, that Grinch even took their last can of Who hash. Then he stuffed all the food up the chimney with glee, and now, grinned the Grinch, I will stuff up the tree. Oh no, he even took the tree. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. What do you think's gonna happen? Right? And the Grinch grabbed the tree and he started to shove them. When he heard a small sound like the coo of a dove, he turned around fast and he saw a small Who, little Cindy Lou Who. Oh, there she is. Look, little Cindy Lou Who. Can you see her? Oh, the Grinch had been caught by this tiny Who daughter who'd got out of bed for a cup of cold water. She stared at the Grinch and said, Santa Claus, why? Why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why? Uh-oh, she doesn't look very happy. But you know that old Grinch was so smart And so slick, he thought up a lie and he thought of it up quick. Why, my sweet little tot, the fake Santa Claus lied, there's a light on top of this tree that won't light on one side. So I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there, then I'll bring it back here. I don't think I trust him. And his fib fooled the child, then he patted her head, and he got her a drink, and he sent her to bed. And when Cindy Lou Who went to bed with her cup, he went to the chimney and stuffed the tree up. Oh my goodness. Well, then the last thing he took was the log for their fire. Then he went up the chimney himself, the old liar. On their walls he left nothing but hooks and some wire. And then the one speck of food that he left in the house was a crumb that was even too small for a mouse. Oh, the little mousey. Where'd the mousey go? Yep, there's the little tiny mousey. Can you see the little mouse? There he is, a little tiny mouse right there. And he's thinking, that's not even enough for dinner for the mouse that he left, right? Then he did the same thing to the other Who houses, all of the Who houses, right? Okay, leaving crumbs much too small for the other Who mouses. Look at his sleigh. It was dawn, all the Who's still abed, all the Who's still a snooze. Then he packed up his sled, packed it up with their presents, the ribbons, the wrappings, the tags, and the tinsels, the trimmings, the trappings, all of it, right? 3,000 feet up the side of Mount Crumpet. He rode with his load to the tip top to dump it. Pooh-pooh to the Who's, he was grinchiously humming. They're finding out now that no Christmas is coming. Oh no, oh no. Right, they're just waking up. I know just what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open for a moment or two, then the Who's down in Whoville will all cry, boo-hoo. Oh, would you cry boo-hoo? You don't know what a Christmas is yet. Let's see. That's a noise. That was a noise. And the Grinch hears a noise. And the Grinch says, that I simply must hear. So he paused. And the Grinch put his hand to his ear. And he did hear a sound rising over the snow. It started in low, then it started to grow. Uh-oh. But the sound wasn't sad. Why, the sound sounded merry. It couldn't be so, but it was merry. It was very merry. Right? He stared down at Whoville. The Grinch popped his eyes. Then he shook. What he saw was a shocking surprise. Look at his face. Oh my God. He's very surprised. Look at the Who's. The Who's, right? Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming at all. It came anyway, right? Somehow or other, it came just the same. Oh my goodness. And the Grinch, with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so? It came without ribbons. It came without tags. It came without packages, boxes, or bags. And he puzzled 3 hours till his puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas perhaps means a little bit more. Look at Max. Max is exhausted. And what happened then? Well, in Whoville, they say that the Grinch's small heart, it grew 3 sizes that day. And the minute his heart didn't feel quite so tight, he whizzed with his load through the bright morning light, and he brought back the toys and the food and the feast. And what else do you think he did? I think there's one more page. Should we find out what's on the last page? What do you think? He himself, the Grinch, carved the roast beast. Oh my goodness. And that is the end of the story of how the Grinch stole Christmas, but he gave it back at the end. I love you so much. Merry Christmas, my sweetheart.